CHAMPS Live is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare, Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor, and the Detroit Medical Center. Do you have a sports injury or are just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 40 of State Champs Live. It's National Grape Popsicle Day. It feels like 83 where I'm coming from today, so that sounds like just what the doctor ordered. State Champs Live is presented by Lawrence Tech. Hey, in February, Lawrence Tech promoted defensive coordinator Avant Mitchell to head football coach. 19 years of experience, played high school football at one of the most legendary programs in the history of Michigan high school football, Detroit DePours. Played his college football at Louisville, then finished his career at Wayne State. Extensive high school coaching experience and at the collegiate level. He's coached some of the top defenses within the NAIA and multiple all-conference and all-American candidates. Learn more about Coach Mitchell and recruit yourself at l2athletics.com. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter every Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. My name is Lauren Plant, and it's a fun show today as we talk about the power of social media with our guest. More specifically, the phenomenon that is TikTok. That conversation coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's get to the headlines for Wednesday, May 27th. Giannone back in the game? Four-time football state championship coach Mike Giannone will reportedly be back on the sidelines this fall with the MAC White Division's Anchor Bay. The Macomb Daily and a source close to state champs reports that Giannone will replace Mike Powell, who stepped down in January after 6 seasons. Giannone was fired as part of the fallout from the hazing scandal that caused Warren De La Salle to forfeit its playoff spot last fall. Giannone went 33-14 with the Pilots, winning back-to-back Division II titles in 2017 and 2018. This after going 158-51 in 18 seasons at Macomb, Dakota, with Division I crowns in 2006 and 2007. Negotiations to get the MLB going at gridlock. In an attempt to reach an agreement for the season to begin by the 4th of July, Major League Baseball made an economic proposal to the Players Union Tuesday, reportedly substituting a poorly received sliding scale salary system rather than the initial 50-50 revenue sharing plan it had originally supported. MLB has proposed an abbreviated 82-game season with expanded playoffs, but the union said Tuesday that the two sides remain far apart on the health and safety protocols which require it to become reality. If the NHL returns, the Red Wings won't. With the NHL announcing that if it works out with its own players' union, the health and safety protocols needed to return to the ice with a playoffs-only continuation, the season has effectively ended for the 7 teams at the bottom of the standings, including the Detroit Red Wings. Detroit now enters the complex lottery system to see where it will draft, holding an 18.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick, while Ottawa, with 2 lottery slots, has a 25% chance. All right, those are the headlines. Let's get to today's Hungry Howie's Twitter question of the day. What is your school doing for their graduation ceremonies? Have they canceled it entirely? Are they doing it virtually? Are they trying to do it in person one way or another? Or is everybody still in limbo? All right, that is the question of the day. Find State Champs Michigan on Twitter and vote. We'll read the results tomorrow. All right, we talked yesterday about how our Michigan Helmet Challenge is causing a lot of buzz on Twitter here in the Mitten, but nothing like the buzz going around the nation from one of our own. And the TikToks she's created having some fun with a Zoom call might look like if the Big Ten schools got together. Now, before we introduce her, let's check out both TikToks she created and started. Roll it.
Is everybody there? Can everybody hear me okay? Wait, Michigan is in charge of this? Didn't you guys have like 2 conference wins last year? We had 6, okay? You know this. O-H! Ohio, we've been over this. You don't have to announce every time you're here. Oh, can y'all hear me? I don't really know how to get this working. Yep, you just press the button. Northwestern, can you help, please? No. Okay, well, you know what? That's not helpful. Wait, are those glasses even real? Can you even read? And the #1 recruiting class in the Big Ten, and we pretty much produced Joe Burrow. Hello? Hi guys. Oh my gosh, no, get out. Get out. Wait, who was that? Okay guys, so apparently the Big Ten had a meeting and we weren't invited. So we're having our own. And as number 4 in ESPN's preseason rankings, I just want to say what an absolute honor it is to be included. Marilyn, you interrupted me again. Oh great, Penn State's here. Oh look, you're all here. Hi Nope, Indiana, wrong sport. This is football. Okay, yeah. What was that? Oh, be right there. Just a sec. Hi, hun. Iowa, can we focus, please? This is why we don't get invited to things. Look at me, I'm Wisconsin. I'm so much better than you. We had the same record last year. Guys, can we all just try to get along? Okay, but a Boilermaker, you know? Like, what does that even mean?
All right, we want to welcome the State Champs live from Wood TV 8 in Grand Rapids, Annie Agar. Welcome to the show, Annie. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, all right. Well, I have to tell you, the first time I saw it, I really did. I just cracked up. I thought it was hilarious. And apparently, so have millions more. Give us the inspiration for your idea.
Yeah, so obviously, I love watching it over again. It gave me a laugh, so I'm glad everybody else agreed with that. But, I was inspired by it. Basically, I'm sure the way everybody else is feeling right now, we're bored, we're trying to find things to pass the time, especially in the sports world during this pandemic. We lack that fun rivalry that you get out of college football. And I, working in the sports industry, thought about this upcoming football season and how it's going to be impacted by this pandemic, how things are going to be different. And the first thing I think of is a Zoom meeting because, this is all we have lately. We've talked over Zoom with family and friends and for work. And so I thought, how interesting would it be to know that the conference that we love is trying to make things as normal as possible for this upcoming football season. And the only way that they maybe have to do that is through a Zoom meeting. So I knowing the rivalries that are inside the Big Ten and how much we love to hate every team in that conference, I figured that Zoom meeting would be pretty interesting to see. So it's an idea kind of just spurred from there.
Well, I'm curious. Did you have to go and purchase all the clothes and props to do it?
So that's a question I've been getting asked a lot, actually. And
Okay.
I actually made a lot of the shirts. So I myself am a Buckeye fan. Living in Michigan, I will take any kind of criticism everybody can bring me. But my family are all Michigan State fans. So we obviously had that, gear from both of those teams. But the Wisconsin shirt I made, as you can see there, cut out the logo. And then I just glued it onto a shirt that I already had, actually. And I did that with a couple other ones. We obviously don't own any kind of U of M attire because of our allegiance to MSU and Ohio State. So had to make that one. And then some of the other ones I just kind of got, creative with and figured what would I think that school would look like in a person. So
Nice. All right, good. Well, you did a good job. You fooled me. I thought you had to go out and buy all that stuff. Now, did you have any friends or family check it out before you ran with it? Or am I just making too much of it? You had an idea and you just did it.
yeah, people ask that too. Did I script it out? Did I plan on it going viral kind of? And I didn't. I honestly kind of got on camera and I thought I want to do something that's funny that college football fans can relate to. And this just kind of came out. It just kind of flowed from me. And my family didn't really, I put it on TikTok first, which I'm a millennial who doesn't really know very well how to use TikTok yet. So I will admit to that. So yeah, I showed them, I showed friends and family and kind of said I did this funny thing and it got feedback on TikTok. People enjoyed it. And then people, that were included in the Big Ten or like fans of the Big Ten kind of saw it and it took off. And then someone actually tweeted it out and I didn't even think, to put it on Twitter. I didn't think it would get this kind of reaction and it just took off. Like, Desmond Howard retweeted it. And then Rich Eisen was a great one because he, gave me feedback on it and actually commented back to my comment. And I'm a big Rich Eisen fan. I love his show. And obviously, all this, Ohio State, these Michigan alums seeing it was really, hopefully if they liked it, then everybody else kind of will too. So
Yeah, I get it. You kind of answered my next question because, again, the first video had nearly 2 million views. The other one will probably get there as well. So I was just curious if you had that aha moment where you just said to yourself, whoa, like this is going viral.
right. Yeah. Once I think honestly, once Desmond Howard caught a hold of it, I think that's when it kind of felt real because people we're retweeting it a lot. I mean, all day, Twitter was blowing up for me, and it was great to hear people's feedback, and they all seemed to love it. And then, getting an A+ from Desmond Howard was kind of that sealed the deal for me. I thought, okay, if Desmond Howard can like it, then I'm sure, everybody else will follow. And then I think a couple hours later was Rich Eisen, and then it took off. Kirk Herbstreit was the next day, and it was wild. And then Barstool grabbed it actually, and that's kind of when it felt really real. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Once they get a hold of something, then look out.
That takes off, right?
It's in the stratosphere. All right. So you were born down here in Metro Detroit. You grew up on the West Side. When did you know you wanted to be a sports reporter?
Great question. So I grew up obviously in the heart of Michigan, Detroit, and loved Detroit sports. I say there's no more passion involved in a fan base than in Detroit sports, and it has to be that way because we've dealt with so much in the past. But so I was raised on sports. My dad actually played. He played in the minors for the Tigers for a couple years. So that was just in my blood, and I knew I couldn't really be associated with sports the way I wanted to through playing it. I played in high school, but probably could have played at the college level, maybe D2. But I knew that wasn't what was going to connect me with a fan base the way that reporting would. And so when I was probably 15 or 16, I thought this is what I want to do because I'd been watching reporters on the sidelines kind of giving me the information that I wanted to ask these players. And I thought, well, if I can be that connecting factor for another person or another fan base, man, I would love to do that. So reporting just kind of took off from there. I focused on it, going into college and majored in it. And I love my job now. And it's so nice to be that connecting factor to fans. So
how did you end up at Wood TV?
I interned at Wood. So Jack Doles, great guy. Tommy Doles obviously played for Northwestern and he, went up through Grand Rapids Christian, just a great football player. And so Jack was a good family friend of ours, through my brother actually. And I'd contacted him sophomore year of college and said, hey, is there any opportunity at Wood? And that internship kind of led to a job there. And, I've been doing filming, editing, writing, all this stuff for them. And it's been great. I mean, it's been a great experience still being in the same area that I grew up in and that I love. And you have that connection with coaches and teams already. And so now being able to advance that connection by covering them and being there every football season and it's been great. It's been a great connection with the community. And I can't say enough good things about Wood TV.
Yeah, for sure. It's really scripted well for you. It's a great opportunity. It's big. It's not too big, and really sets you up where you have to kind of get yourself involved in every aspect of production, which is going to make you more talented and more wanted, and obviously more valuable as a producer, a multimedia producer moving forward. Now, you're also a sideline reporter with the NBA's G League's Grand Rapids Drive as well.
Yeah. It's been a little bit difficult recently because of the whole separation from the Pistons and all that. But they were great. They came to me 2-3 years ago and said, we're looking for someone that kind of knows the community and is working in the community that can, be a voice of the Drive and kind of have, we talked to a coach at the half and then we talked to a player at the end of the game. And just to kind of incorporate fans more and give them that, real game feel. So that's been great because, the Drive are great people as well. Coach Donnie is just an amazing guy. So it's been a great experience there. And that kind of gives me more of a live, idea of what being live is like. So it's been really great.
Okay, cool. All right. Hang in there, Annie. If you have any questions or comments for Annie Agar regarding her Big Ten TikToks or anything else, now's the time to ask on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. We'll get to them in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's check out what happened this week in State Champs history. The year is 2009. This was a D1 girls soccer pre-district opener. 5th-ranked Troy Athens meeting Rochester on the pitch. These two rivals have battled it out over the years, and it was a 0-0 contest with 25 minutes to go in the game. Then, off the throw-in, the Redhawks, Jackie Short in front. She finds the twine. That would be the lone goal as Troy Athens won the contest 1-0. The team got as far as the regional semifinals before losing to Utica Eisenhower. This week in State Champs history is presented by Lawrence Tech Athletics. Recruit yourself at ltuathletics.com. Yeah, there was a time there when Utica Eisenhower and Troy Athens always were meeting in the playoffs. It was always a good battle there in girls soccer. It's always fun to go back and kind of look through the years. And that was actually before your time in high school.
That's a great thing there.
All right. So let's get to the question or comments for Wood TV's Annie Agars. We have one that says, what TikTok are you working on that we can look forward to?
Oh, God, that's a great question. So that's kind of what people have been asking, are you going to stick with the Big Ten? Are you going to branch out and do other conferences? And that's yet to be determined. I have a couple ideas in the works. I really want to represent other conferences, maybe as well as I did the Big Ten, but I also grew up in Big Ten territory. So I know the dynamic of the teams a little bit more, I feel like, as we all do, being in the Big Ten. So we'll see. I've got if you guys have any ideas, please drop a message, let me know, because I will take anybody's idea right now.
Right, exactly. Well, again, I mentioned yesterday when we chatted, I was like, hey, how about a Michigan high school one? We could definitely help you with the research for that. That could get a little dicey. You know the West Side, we know the East Side, but we'll see. It's all in good fun. Maybe the SEC or the Pac-12, you could certainly have a good time with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of material from each conference.
Yes, there is no question about it. Okay, a question from Twitter. What's your favorite part of covering sports in Grand Rapids?
Ooh, another good question. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but I love the community, especially in Michigan. People always think down south is where the big football schools are, and where high school football is basically a religion. But honestly, the Midwest, there's nothing like it. I mean, the feeling of Friday Night Lights, covering a team that I've covered for a while or that I love, and knowing the coach and being able to walk sidelines with the players. I mean, that is a great feeling, because my high school days are over of playing, and I can't imagine, the feeling of being on the football field playing as a high school senior. So kind of being out there and sharing that moment with them, and then being able to present that moment, later on the news that they can go back and watch is a special feeling for me. So.
All right, fantastic. All right, and I've got to ask you one more. So you went to Grand Valley. So
Yes.
You're a Grand Valley State alum. How do you become an Ohio State fan? People have to know this.
That's actually a question I get asked a lot, surprisingly. Good question. So when I was playing basketball in high school, I loved Evan Turner, who was obviously played for Ohio State years ago. I think it was when I was in high school. And I loved the fact that the more I followed Ohio State, the more I made Michigan fans upset with me and proceeded to annoy Michigan State fans as well. So to me, it was like a win-win, and I loved Ohio State and kind of hooked onto their football program. But I also like to say that I became a fan of them before all the sanctions happened. So I was joining the ship as it was sinking. So I'm not a bandwagon fan.
Got it. And that's okay. That's the key is you have your love, and that's where your allegiance is. That sounds great. All right. I want to thank Wood TV's Annie Agar for coming on the show today. We do really appreciate it. And if you get that big ESPN or NFL network gig someday, maybe Big Ten network, we will all be rooting for you. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and stay safe.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. All right. Let's take a look at today's clip of the day. And that's your clip of the day. All right, so the clips keep getting better and better. Nice job, Evan. That was great. I want to know how many times it took you to do that. But all the way from Charlevoix, love it. We want your short video clip to be today's clip of the day. Send us a link to your clip on any of our social media platforms. We'll check it out. All right, Game Changers is our partnership with the Detroit Medical Center, putting together all kinds of great segments that can help make you a better athlete and also just teach you a few things like this. Know your posture.
Did you know using today's technology, computers and cell phones can affect your sports performance? And so what do we need to do is look at, do your shoulders round forward, and does your back come forward like this? So if you think your posture is affecting your sports performance, come for a full upper extremity evaluation and see the professionals at the DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine.
All right. So again, go to our YouTube channel. That's best where you can catch those segments. They are all laid out there in a great playlist. So we appreciate our partnership with the DMC. We also have another great partnership, and that is the Michigan High School Football Coaches Association State Champs, and the MHSFCA is putting together a simulated all-star game. So why are we doing that? Well, normally we'd be getting ready right now for the all-star football game that we take part in. You could see some of the video there. And that happens at Saginaw Valley State. Obviously, we couldn't have that this year. So we are creating a simulated game where you, the fans, on Twitter are going to choose the plays that we're going to run. And then we're going to see what happens as a result of those choices. And in the end, somebody's going to win the game. We're going to be shouting out all the guys on the roster. It's going to be great. Join us this Saturday, May 30th at 3 p.m. Again, we'll set up the play. You will choose which one should run. So it's a Twitter poll that'll run for about 5 minutes each, and then you get to see the results. You will see what happens. There will be 4 posts per quarter. We'll find out live who is going to be this year's Michigan High School Football Champions. Will it be the East or will it be the West? Again, that is this Saturday, May 30th at 3 p.m. on State Champs Twitter. Let's check out the results of yesterday's Hungry Howie's Twitter question of the day. It was a beautiful weekend. Did you spend it outside or inside? 48% say had to get outside, but that was a close battle there, kind of a mixture of both, but I'm glad that the majority got out there. It's hot today too, so why don't you get out there? We're going to have American Hockey League player Gerald Mayhew on the show tomorrow. The former Ferris State Bulldog is part of the Minnesota Wild organization. Currently, he's with the Iowa Wild in the AHL. He was born downriver, played for Wyandotte High School, won a state title in 2011, and is now living the dream. We'll catch up with Mr. Mayhew tomorrow at 2 p.m. And if you know a guest that you'd like to see here on live, please email our show coordinator, Amanda. Her email address, amanda@yellowflagproductions.com. Go get a great popsicle, all right? We'll see you tomorrow.
Right now, we are all longing for the roar of a crowd, the excitement of a stadium filled with cheering fans, and the ecstasy of celebrating a hard-fought victory. But right now, we're all on the same team, and we must do our part to make sure as many students, athletes, coaches, teachers, parents, and loved ones are there when we have the luxury to resume our rivalries and start rooting for our teams once again. Stay home and stay safe.
State Champs Live is presented by Lawrence Technological University, where Blue Devils dare, Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor, and the Detroit Medical Center. Do you have a sports injury or are just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers.